Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be turning this simple graphic that I've got into a light up display sort of Christmas decoration thing. And to do that, what I did was I traced the outline using the trace bitmap feature, and then created these three different layers, and a little section here which is going to be the part that keeps the door off from the background. So you've got the middle section on the left there, the back board on the middle, and the right side is the front. The front will be engraved as well as the door. So once I've got it into light burn, I'm just going to sort out the layers and reposition it, making sure that the settings are all groovy for what I'm cutting out. So I actually changed my mind on the material that I used, so I laid this out for 6mm MDF, but I actually ended up using 3mm ply to actually finish the job. So this is my settings if I was going to be using 6mm MDF. And then I forgot to film the bit where I was using the plywood. So yeah, basically what I'm doing is just moving it into position where it would sit on the MDF, but again I've had to change it for the plywood. So yeah, it's just a case of ungrouping things there, grouping them back together, and then dragging them into position, using as little off the board space as possible. I'm just going to rotate that. You can see me dragging that corner there, but I'm pressing shift at the same time just so it stays on the right axis. And that's pretty much that for setup on the light burn, and then we can check to see how long it's going to take and just make sure it's all going to engrave properly, and then Bob's your uncle. So now that it's over on the laser, I'm just going to speed through the engraving, and you can see it's a fairly decent sized little ornament. It's an old fairy door that I've repurposed into a Christmas sort of style by adding a wreath onto the door and the Christmas tree on the side there. It's quite a simple design, and it really takes no time at all to make. Obviously if you were batching these out, you'd do it on a full size sheet, and then you'd be able to get many more from the size of the laser if you've got the Mira 9S. So I'm just laying it out as a dry fit just to show you how it looks, and then you can see that's a spacer in between just to keep that door off the backboard, so the light will shine through the gap around the door nicely. And then you can see I've also put holes through where the baubles will be just to give them a bit more sparkle. I've also put holes in the star as well. So I'm just running a thin bead of super glue with the Miter Fix accelerator there, and then I go in with my hot glue gun and just wing it basically for positioning of the lights, trying not to have too many in one area or too little. I started at the star there and just worked my way around the shape of the Christmas tree, trying not to be directly behind the baubles, but it's easier said than done. So there's a few things I probably would have changed. I maybe would have painted the inside black to try and eliminate some of the shine through. When the lights are on, you'll see what I mean once it's all finished. But yeah, it's just a case of getting them as tight into the edges there as possible, so they're not going to be where the gap in the door is and you can see them. So they're basically well hidden. And I wouldn't advise doing what I do, but I just use my finger to cool the hot glue down. Then again, just removing the excess hot glue strands there, it's an absolute nightmare. I use hot glue quite a lot, but I actually hate it. It just frustrates me so much. So again, I'm just going in with the super glue, a thin bead round the outer edge there, and then fix it in place with the miter spray. So it really doesn't take much time, but try and get every single piece there so it's a nice strong bond. I find these bottles quite easy to use. They don't tend to clog up too much, and they distribute the glue quite easily. So you could use pegs or something to hold it in position while you're setting it up. I'm just going to go in straight away with the miter spray, the activator, just to set it off quite quickly. Once it's all set up, I'll off screen I'm going to add some colour. It's entirely up to yourself if you want to just maybe stain it or whatever. I chose to add some colour to this, just thought it would be quite nice, and I'm just using Sharpies and Scribblicious pens, I think they're called. So it's quite a nice effect. So I'm just going to glue this door on now. Again, same sort of scenario, line it up, make sure, and then I actually decided to put some spray on the back so it sets quite quickly. And it's advised that you hold it for 15 seconds just so it sets up properly. So it's a bit hard to see, but you can actually see the light shining through the wood. So that's why I was saying I would maybe paint it black to see if that would eliminate it. I'm not sure it would, but yeah. So here it's all coloured in, and the light fitting there sits in quite nicely in that wee slot that I made. It's just a case of measuring it with a set of calipers and it slots in quite nicely. So I don't know, I kind of like the way it sits anyway, with the lights shining through. That's the pens I was using, the Scribblicious ones, and the Sharpies. This is just a brief insight on how you could possibly make a light up battery powered Christmas decoration. Hope it's been helpful. If you've got any ideas you want to see made, give me a shout in the comments.